Hi guys, it is time for my Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan, otherwise known as we're making dents, because that's basically what we're doing. I'm just trying to make some dents. I have a 10 use goal on my shadows. I randomly choose them. If you want to see how I did this month, then stick around. Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Andi. I'm really happy that you're here. You guys, all of my rules will be in the description box below. But let's go ahead and see how we did. The first, actually these palettes are in no particular order because I can't remember, but palette that was chosen was the Ace Beauté Smoky Roses. The shade Smoky was randomly chosen, and I've only used it twice. So this is kind of silly, but this is what it looked like last month. As you can see, it was a brand new shade. I had never used it. I had not used it one time. And this is what it looks like now. There's maybe a little bit of disturbance in there, but really, no, because I've only used it twice. This shade is not a shade that I gravitate toward very often, which is why I'm doing the project, honestly, because there are shades in each palette that I gravitate toward. You can see the dents in those. Yeah. And there are shades that get left out in the cold, and I feel bad for them. I want to use them. I want to use every pan in my collection. So yeah, that's only been used twice. And silly me, I didn't even have my notebook out. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's only been used twice. The second palette that was chosen is the Wonder Beauty Island Hop. Getaway Island, I'm pretty sure it's called, yeah, here we go. Island Hop palette. This is what it looks like. I got this from Gigi Loves Beauty in some friend mail I did. And this is the shade that was randomly chosen. As you can see, last month it was a brand new shade. I had not used it at all. I hadn't used this palette at all. And this is what it looks like now. There's quite a dent there. I really enjoyed this palette a lot. I had never used a Wonder Beauty palette before, and so I didn't know what to expect, but I really liked it. And I used it 10 times. I used it 10 times. So that is rolling out. As you can see, I use this one too, because they're very complementary to each other. So I liked it. I liked it a lot. So then we move on to our singles. And next up is the Copacetic Apple Cider Sangria. And this is what she looks like. Beautiful. You guys, I haven't been swatching these for you. So let me do that real quick. Man, that orange is very, very pigmented. Very pigmented. Okay, so this is the orange. This is the brown from the Island Hop. And I don't know if you remember, but our color story this month looked a lot like our color story for October. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, wait, it's the same thing. Like, oh, this changed a little bit. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. It hadn't changed really. But anyway, so this is the Apple Cider Sangria. I will swatch it for you. It is a beautiful orangey green. I don't know. Champagne. There's a little bit, you can't see it. There's a little bit, just a little bit. Actually, it's what I have on the front part of my lid right now. I got my last use in some of these shades. So out over here is the Wonder Beauty, and in the middle here is the Copacetic. So this is what the shadow looked like last month. I think I maybe had used it once or had swatched it once. Really not much disturbance at all. This is what it looks like this month. There's a little baby dent in there. There is. This is a very firmly pressed shadow for a shimmer. It was very firmly pressed. And I used it 10 times. I did. So that's rolling out. I put it back in my palette. I need to take that out. Okay. The next shadow, the next single that we've had in for a couple months now is the Looksy Dark Waters. Does it look any different? No, it doesn't. You know why? Because I haven't used it. I haven't. It's so pretty. You guys, why am I not using it? Because I do a lot of neutral looks. And the couple of looks I did this month were purple, this would have been great in the front because it's like a teal blue to a purple blue flip. That would have been fun, right? For Halloween. Use it. I didn't. Maybe in the winter. I said last month. Maybe this time. So I'm not going to do it before and after because it has been used, except for me keep swatching it. Maybe I'll get my 10 uses that way. The last thing we have in a project is always the ColourPop Super Shock, because I have so many and I need to use them. And we have the shade Tassel. It's a beautiful white, silvery, beautiful thing. It's very, it's a lot more of a topper. It's right there. You can see it's very pretty. This is what it looked like last month. I had used it before, but not a whole lot. And this is what it looks like now. You can see there is some disturbance in there. I used it mostly as an inner corner, and I have only used it 7 times. So it's staying in. Staying in, I have to use it 3 more times. I do. Which will be very easy because inner corner. Every time, almost every time, I used this shade. I also used this shade, and I did this as an inner corner. There were a couple times that I used this as an inner corner, and as you can see, and that's why I don't have my 10 uses on that. You know, I was just trying to use other stuff. I was. And I have another single shadow in another project that I also use as an inner corner. So this is our color story that we were working with all month long. And I gotta say, I liked it. I really like using neutral tones. I wish I would have used this one a little more. But I didn't, and it's no big deal. It's no big deal. Okay, so it's time for us to choose new shadows. We are choosing one palette and then randomly choosing a shade out of that palette. And we are choosing one single, and that's it. We're just doing 2. Let's change up the color story right now. Let's do it. So I'm bringing up my wheel of names. These are all of my palettes. I do have them shuffled, so they're not in alphabetical order, because I find if you're choosing more than one thing, it tends to go around to the same spot. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But let's choose a palette. 1, 2. And the palette is ColourPop Lush Life. Ooh, that's kind of scary. That's kind of scary. That is one of my favorite ColourPop palettes, but those are very bright shades. Maybe I'll get a blue. Maybe I'll get a blue and I can wear that with it. Maybe. All right, now we are going to open up my singles. I'm going to shuffle them. Okay. These are my singles. Let's see what we're choosing. Looksy Phantom. I don't know what that looks like. All right, I'm going to go get those things. We'll come back. We'll randomly choose our shade. I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. All right, we have the ColourPop Lush Life. There are 12 pans in here. As you can see, it's very bright. It's very happy. It's a very happy palette. Let's see. I'm going to bring up my pretty random, and we're going to put in 1 through 12, and let's randomize. What's it say? 11. Can you see that? 11. So, it's the blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. Okay. All right. The Looksy shadow called Phantom. I thought it might be a purple. It has been used before. I've used it a couple of times. Oh, it's so beautiful. So let me swatch that for you. I actually think that these two are going to work out really well together. Look at that. Yeah, those will work out well together. That is a beautiful shade. I can't remember when I used that. I used it for a special look, and I think I was doing a dragonfly for Leanna's. Leanna Dalton does a Beauty and the Soul challenge every month. Unfortunately, I have not been able to partake because of time, and I hate that. But she does a Beauty and the Soul challenge on Instagram every month. And she had dragonflies, and she talked about the symbolism for her behind dragonflies. And so I found a dragonfly photo that I loved, and that was one of the shades. I think that's when I used it. I'm pretty sure that's when I used it. But as you can see, there's some disturbance there. It's been used a little bit. And Look-See shadows are super soft. So let me swatch our new color story and see how jacked up it is. Oh, you guys, I'm cracking myself up. Okay, we have the Ace Beauté. We have the Look-See. And the shade is called Monsoon. You guys, I burnt my fingertip the other day, this one, on my printer drum. It was like hotter than the surface of the sun, and I chose to touch it, and so I have this blister on the top of my middle finger. You guys, look at that. This is a very pigmented shade. All right, so I can't feel the tip of my finger when I'm swatching, which is really feels odd. Feels very odd. This color story is going to be a very beautiful winter color story. This is what the color story looks like. Look how different. I said I wanted different, didn't I? Yes, look how different that is. This is the Smoky Roses shade called Smoky. This is the Lush Life shade called Monsoon. This is the Look-See Dark Waters. This is the Look-See Phantom. And this is the ColourPop Super Shock in Tassel. It's going to be hard to get my 10 uses in 1 month. I'm not even going to say I'm going to do it, because let me tell you what, I don't do blue very often, but I will get some use on it. It might take us over in December. It might, but that's okay. We're not in a race. There's no blue ribbon for finishing every shadow in 30 days. There isn't. I'm just trying to get use on my shades. So you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Tell me what you think of my new color story. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Tell me what you think of it. Do you think it's doable? Or do you think it's going to take me a while? I think it's going to take me a while. I really do. I really appreciate you guys being here. And until our next adventure, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you later.